Hey you all, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Today's video, I am going to take you to the drugstore with me for just a few seconds of footage to identify some foundations at Harmon specifically that might work for olive skin tones. I didn't buy all of them, but I did buy the ones that work for me or that I thought would work for me. They are the Revlon Color Stay and the Loreal Truematch. So in addition to kind of pointing out some shades that might work for olive skin tones in these ranges, I also purchased them and try them on in this video and give you my thoughts. This makeup look, the rest of it is in a tutorial. I'm not sure which one is gonna go up first, but when it is up, I will have it linked down below and up in the cards for you. But otherwise, subscribe and give me a thumbs up and enjoy the video.
So the first foundation range I looked at was the Revlon Color Stay, and these are two shades that I ended up buying, both in 150 Buff in two different formulas, the natural and the matte finish. And then in the more medium range, it was hard to find something that wasn't like pink or super golden looking. But I did find that shades 340 and 350 could work for olive skin. Then in the Photo Ready Candid range, I found that 120 Buff as well as 150 Creme Brulee, and then also 310 Butterscotch looked pretty good for olive skin. I also thought that the deepest shade, Espresso, could work pretty well, but overall this shade range is not great. That's a pretty big gap between medium and deep, and I would have loved to see darker shades there. Almay only had like one shade, and it was the darkest shade, and I'm embarrassed to even call that the darkest shade, so moving on. I had high hopes for Loreal Truematch, and I ended up really liking the neutral range. I didn't think it looked too orangey or peachy. I think it looks neutral, like I see like absence of undertone there. However, the shade range in Truematch could be better. There aren't enough dark shades by any means, but for me, I found something that was pretty close to the buff shade and ended up going with N2.
All right, let's try these foundations. I have the Revlon Color Stay for normal to dry skin in 150 Buff, and then the one for combo to oily skin also in 150 Buff. And I don't know if you can tell, but they are slightly different. I think they would both work. I've had my like moisturizer and sunscreen on all day, so I'm a little bit on the oily side, especially in the T-zone. So let's do the one for combo to oily on my forehead first. And I'm gonna be using Real Techniques brushes. I have the buffing brush, two of the contour brushes, and one of the setting brushes. I use all of them for foundation. So let's start with the matte finish one. So that's the color. It looks very good, a little bit yellow, but that's kind of like what we want. Like we want a little bit yellow, not too yellow. The finish is fantastic, and honestly, like so is the color. Coverage is okay. Like I have this healing acne mark over here that like I know my Dermablend foundation would have covered like instantly. Yeah, I mean it has a very natural finish, especially for being a matte foundation. Like if you have super oily skin, you might not love it the most, but I don't know, if you have oily skin and you like a more natural finish instead of a super mattified look, then I could see you quite liking this as well. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to use the natural finish. So we used the matte finish, and now we're gonna use the natural finish, which the color looks slightly darker and slightly less yellow. Once it's on the skin, especially because it's not a full coverage foundation, I doubt it will make a ton of difference, but hey, let's try it. This one is slightly thicker, and I'm gonna take a clean brush, and let's do it on this side. I have some redness because I just tweezed my chin hairs. Wow, I mean, The coverage isn't amazing. You can still see some of my redness and like fresh acne scarring peeking through, but the finish is really pretty. And I remember liking Revlon Color Stay when I was younger, and I'm pleased to see that it still, you know, satisfies me. Yeah, I mean, that color's amazing. I'll definitely be wearing this more often. I'm not mad. Like, I picked it up for testing purposes, but I actually really quite like the color and the finish right off the bat. Again, coverage isn't amazing, but this is not really a full coverage video. This is more of a how is the undertone of this foundation video, and I think the undertone is awesome, and I think the finish on both of these is really pretty. It's quite skin-like. It's hard to tell because I was just oilier on my forehead, so the finish actually looks kind of the same from the natural finish to the matte finish foundations. Blended out, the color looks, I mean, you can't tell the difference because the colors are so close, but I think that they both look really good color-wise. I did also pick up the L'Oreal Truematch in Neutral 2 Classic Ivory. Kind of don't like the word classic as ascribed to a skin tone. I think it's kind of rude. Let's try this on this section of my face so we can kind of just give us another drugstore option. Okay, there's no pump on this, by the way. And the color on this one looks slightly peachier, but still not bad. Like, it's not orangey or anything like that. Weird, I expected the coverage to be better than the Revlon on this one, but it kind of looks the same. Finish is gorgeous. I'm really impressed. I mean, I exfoliate regularly, but still, like, my skin isn't the easiest to blend foundation on. Like, foundations can look really textured on me. Okay, so the L'Oreal is definitely the most matte of the three. And actually, it's giving me a little bit more coverage than the Revlon. But I quite like the neutral tone of it. With the way the lighting is right now, it's making my face look really light. Let me turn that off. I mean, overall, it looks quite nice. It matches my neck and my chest really well. Yeah, I mean, all of these colors work super duper well. I think like my favorite might be, I don't know, the color of the Revlon might be slightly better. But I feel like it's a really good match. What do y'all think? I'll come back when my makeup is all done. All right, y'all, that's it for this foundation test slash like shop with me briefly kind of video. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Again, I like can't buy everything, especially if it's not in my skin tone. That like creates so much waste, and I already have foundations for my kit. I don't use drugstore foundations in my kit, so I hope this was like a good method for y'all. Let me know what you think. Give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more foundation videos, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.